And are we on?
You're on.
Welcome to the Oracle of Enlightenment Vortex. I'm the observer, Sal Monaco, along with my co-host, the very lovely Miss Terry Braunstein, also known as the Talkin' Proud Lady.
Hi, Sal. Nice
How
to be
you
here.
doing?
Thank you.
Yep. And also joining us tonight is sitting next to Terry, Mr.
Jim Tiati the third.
Yep, Jim Tiati the third.
Tiati.
Tiati.
I mean, there's three
Yep.
of you?
Yeah, scary, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
And
They
also,
clone you?
Yes.
also joining us is the Prez, Sal Prezioso.
Hello.
And the great.
Hi. Me,
Yeah.
Vanessa Furuyama, current host of the Greg Sturlis show, even though I'm not Greg Sturlis, and mastermind of the Nessaverse.
What's the Nessaverse?
Watch the Greg Sturlis show and you'll find out.
Okay. I haven't
my
watched it
dimension.
in centuries. Where is it now? Is it like online or?
Oh, yeah, it's online. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Tom would know other places. It's on public access TV.
Still?
That's right. It's on all the stations, like what Jones Intercable,
Does public
International
access
Cable,
still
and
exist?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a Courier Cable in the city, and you got International Cable in the suburbs, and Jones Intercable out in Lockport.
And
right?
how do you put stuff up there?
Well, you got to sign a contract, and you got to commit to a certain number of shows, and then you give them. I think they went on DVD now.
Oh, where would
The
you
Apollo,
go there?
the Apollo Media Center for the city of Buffalo,
Where's that?
East Side.
Okay.
What street is the Apollo Media Center, Tom? Do you remember the name of the street?
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Okay. Well, joining us as our engineer tonight is the great Tom Windsor. We're glad to have him as a guest engineer tonight.
The greatest,
Yes.
like Ringo.
We're sorry for our late start. We had some technical issues, which we
solved. I don't know what we solved.
Tom solved them.
yeah.
That's like Vanilla Ice. If there's a problem, he'll solve it.
Tom is the man with the plan.
And the ability.
Anyway, well, the subject for tonight is theories on the afterlife as portrayed in media. Now, the first one we were going to start talking about was the Twilight Zone. Now, the Twilight Zone showed that they had several episodes that involved the afterlife, but the three I loved the most were, well, we talked about The Hunt earlier, which was
Yes, we
Heiner-
did, but not on air.
Heiner Simpson and his dog Rip died and thought they were going to thought they had met St. Peter at the gates of heaven, and he kept trying to get them in with all these tricks, but he wouldn't let the dog in. So Heiner said he wasn't going to go in if Rip wasn't welcome in there. And they walked Rip up. They decided to go up the road, and then an angel came to them, a hillbilly angel. It was great. And he was going to take them to heaven. And he was like, well, then who were those other guys? And he goes, oh, that there's hell. They were trying to get you just as you tried to, get in. It was something. I mean, I love the thing that he goes, if you're an angel, wear your wings. And he goes, oh, shucks, I don't use them that often. I just like walking. They had an interesting concept of, can you actually trick someone into going to hell?
Well, that's sort of interesting because if you're destined for hell because of your lack of faith or whatever, you're going to go to hell. This seems to be like that this person had a choice sort of afterwards, and that's not really consistent with things.
They were basically saying that if they were trying to trick him in because he wasn't exactly a believer and everything.
Right, but
Whereas-
the thing is that the Bible specifies that when you die, in the next instance that you're aware of, you're judged, and then you go either heaven or hell, and it's based on faith in Christ. So
And there was also purgatory.
Oh,
that's
in the Catholic
in the
religion.
Catholic
Yes.
but that's not biblical
It's
in the
not in the-
Protestant.
That basically
Christian
states
religion, really.
that basically states you're not evil enough to go to hell, but you're not good enough to go to
Go to
heaven.
heaven.
Oh, yeah,
So
you gotta
have
go
to
there.
to purgatory
Yeah, you got to be.
and hang there for a while until they decide to let you out.
Yeah, that the Church of Rome instituted that because then you could buy indulgences and you could pay Rome money, and that would help get the souls you cared about out of purgatory
Oh,
faster.
God.
Get them into heaven.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was financial.
That's kind of like that movie called The Sin Eater, where the guy was like, "I'll forgive your sins so you can go to heaven if you pay me this much money." And I
Yeah.
was like, that was so dumb.
Yeah, and it's not based on work, so that can never work.
No, it was just basically a cute idea for a horror movie.
Yeah.
It had a good ending, at least, but
You know what episode of The Twilight Zone I thought was cool?
Yeah.
When the child walks into the wall to
Oh.
another realm of
yeah,
life.
but that was another dimension that had
That-
nothing.
I just thought that,
that was
amazing.
called Little Girl Lost.
Little
And
Girl
yes,
Lost.
that was a great episode.
It was just I watched it so many times and it just gets me, you know?
Yeah, and let's make another dimension by taking a warehouse and throwing a bunch of fancy lights over.
But having a rave.
Right. Having arrived.
But the
Yeah.
other episode that dealt with the topic was it was called A Nice Place to Visit, and it starts Sebastian Cabot. Basically, a guy dies and he thinks he's in heaven and he's getting everything he wants. You know, he gambles and wins every time, and every woman he wants is his and everything else. And he basically says, "I'm bored. It's driving me crazy." You know, nothing I do is all. It doesn't mean anything if it's all set up and blah blah blah.
Right.
There was
And
no
then-
challenge.
Yeah, he says, you know, no matter what I do, you know, it's driving me crazy because it's all set up and it's all this. It's like you can't gambling if you win every time. That's not.
You know what's
That's
going to
charity.
happen. That's no fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the opposite of Fantasy Island was the guy was wanting to win and win and win, and he was winning, and then got to the point where he was going to win enough money to bankrupt Fantasy Island. So,
Oh yeah.
What was that?
It's no
Fantasy
fun.
Island.
Fantasy Island.
With Ricardo
right,
Montalban
right,
and
yeah.
Hervé
Yeah.
Villechaize.
Yeah, then Ricardo Montalban came there and said he had to turn over the next card, and then he lost, and then it was like over.
You mean
Well-
you mean Mr. Rourke, your
Well,
host?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
at the
tattoo.
end of this episode, he sells Sebastian Cabot, who's supposed to be his guardian angel. I don't belong in heaven. Somebody goofed. Send me to the other place. And Sebastian says, "What are you talking about? This is the other place."
He didn't realize it.
Ah,
No, he goes, "You're gonna basically we're killing you with kindness," which is what they used in the TV show the Good Place. They tried to convince these four people they were in heaven and did
And
all
they
these
weren't.
and they did all these things to them and everything else. And the concept of, well, you get sent there and they create these villages for you and all kinds of stuff. Now, one concept is you go there and you get what's it called? Paradise. Basically, you get everything you want and you're in a state of euphoria. Like, which I remember a movie. I don't remember what it was called, but it was one where like they got into a hot tub and were being served drinks. And the one guy goes, "How long have we been?" The girl goes, "How long have we been sitting in here?" And he goes, "Oh, about 2 weeks." And he's like, "We've been sitting in this hot tub being served drinks for 2 weeks." And that I think is my idea of the concept. You know, you're basically enjoying it for as long. You're not, but the way the Good Place did it is when they were in the Good Place, because they treated it like it was just another dimension. So because they were getting everything they wanted, they were turning into zombies. They were just kind of like, I get everything I want.
oh, like rich kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
basically, they didn't know what, and it's not. I don't buy that because it says. I mean, you can say whatever is biblical, but it says the concept has always been you're in a state of euphoria. Now, they also brought up the idea that people can be reincarnated. Does anyone here believe in reincarnation?
Do you mean like the transmigration of souls and the perpetuation of samsara?
Coming
through,
back
like,
as something
coming back through the karmic wheel.
Yes.
as something else or someone else.
Yes. And
I
they,
had a friend that believes that he claims to be Christian, but he's
Is he a Buddhist, a Zen Buddhist? That
no. He's
'Cause some people, there's a
He just
crossover.
believes that there's reincarnation and that's the truth, and the other stuff. It's like
see, I don't really believe that because it's basically saying that you lose your uniqueness. Like you're no longer you, you're somebody else, and your soul's in this body, and it's basically you're all these different people or whatever,
Right.
and it just kind of doesn't.
You're right.
Make,
You lose your
Even
personality.
it
animals.
doesn't make sense.
Even
Even animals,
animals.
yeah. So it doesn't. It really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, from a biblical standpoint, God loves you so much as you are that he lets you live forever as you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, things are different. He provides your body, which is a glorified body, and Jesus says, if God lets made the lilies of the field like this, even Solomon in all his splendor wasn't as beautiful as this lily. How great is God going to provide for you when it comes time for it to happen?
Right. And the TV show Charmed used it as, if you're bad in one, you go down in your next life, and if you're good, you go up. It's kind of like they, and they also said that you were being reincarnated within your own bloodline. Like the three sisters were actually cousins in the
Oh, boy.
in the earlier one, and Phoebe had this really great power of controlling fireballs, but because she was evil, when she got into the next life and they were sisters instead of cousins, she only had a weak power. So it was kind of like, and they had one where a friend of mine who guest starred on the show, he was to be reincarnated as a dung beetle because of his evil.
A scarab.
Yeah, because of how
On my
bad he
face.
was in life.
That reminds me of that song, Dr. Demento show song, I'm My Own Grandpa. Well, I guess that could be possible.
Yes. And they played that on the Muppet Show, actually. Once.
I have a cat that, some of the things he does, it scares me.
Think it's a
Because
relative?
I think it might be my husband that passed away in 2020.
Wow.
Because this cat does things that you wouldn't believe that relate to the way Steve was with me. And he looks at me and he stares at me. And I'm thinking, Steve, is that you?
Wow.
Well,
I'm not kidding you. That's what I've done. Steve,
You gotta be
is
careful
that-
because demons exist, and
I've tried to get into the cat's eyes.
Stare
Well,
at the cat?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
another theory that demons and angels are not human souls.
No, they're not. Definitely
they're their
not. They
own
are
race
different.
of-
They are
yeah.
totally different than humans.
They're their own race of people.
If you go
Right.
by the Bible, angels existed before humanity.
Exactly.
And Satan, the fallen angel, was jealous of God's love for humanity.
Yeah,
Right.
and nobody, not even Lucifer has contradicted that.
Right.
But Lucifer, the TV show Lucifer, which was also a comic book, portrays Lucifer as being the punisher of evil, which is why he tortures people in hell.
well, he tortures people that want to follow God. He doesn't torture the people that follow him.
Oh, interesting point.
That I have heard that theory, but that would be saying that everybody who's evil, who is going to hell, gets to live the good life down there, whereas people who followed God, who lost their way, end up getting tortured.
Why are you saying that Satan's the ruler of hell? Because that's an assumption that's wrong.
Why?
Because God is the one who punishes. Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. So that when the right time comes and everything is dealt with perfectly, people that didn't take God's offer of accepting Christ as Savior on the cross is...
Yeah,
yeah.
what the Bible says is that when Satan was cast out of heaven for trying to Lucifer was cast out of heaven for trying to take over, he was sent to be the ruler of hell as his punishment.
No, he was
God
cast
still-
down to earth. He's on earth right now, very angry and trying to destroy mankind.
Well, yeah. Well, who's controlling Earth? Then? Who's
Well,
controlling hell?
if you
then?
go back to the
Hell is something Jesus talked about and what some people consider to be a parable.
how about the story of Jesus when he's in the Olive Garden before he's going to be crucified, and the devil comes to him and says he can give him the control of all the governments of the world if he bends his knee to him and make what he has to do go away. The Jehovah Witnesses believe that the power of the governments of the world are coming from demonic forces or the devil himself, or however you want to
Satan
phrase
was
that.
given that authority.
Yeah, Satan has the authority in this world of governance and the governments. And if you look around,
Now, see, I've never heard that one.
If
You
you
ever
look
heard
at
that one?
if you look at governments, they're based on a lot of factors are based on money, and money you can't serve God
Yeah.
in money.
right, and money is root
Money
of evil.
is the root of all evil. Yeah.
Not necessarily all, but
Well, it's
a
not
lot,
the root.
most.
It's not the root. Satan is more so than money is, but money we can't
Okay,
serve
well,
God
I'm
in
not-
money.
I'm not prescribing to that theory personally.
But it is a theory worth discussing. Also,
Yeah,
are
it
you
is.
familiar
Oh,
with
it
the?
is.
There are some fringe religions. I know a lot about religions. I can talk about all kinds of religions. There's one called the Process Church of Final Judgment, in which they believe that Jehovah, the demiurge, or who we would call God the Father, works in union with Satan, and they work together sort of as a tag team, like good guy, bad guy, and they're really working together.
They did that in a cartoon called God, the Devil, and Bob, which was actually not bad. And you kind of saw a little of that in Oh God, You Devil, with George Burns playing
Oh.
both God and the devil.
Do you remember that TV movie from 1972 with Jack Klugman, A Poor Devil, and it has Sammy Davis Jr. playing a bungling devil? And it was around Christmas time it came out. It was on NBC, and it had ties to the Church of Satan, which was very popular at the time. It was emerging as almost a mainstream religion. It was on the cover of Time and Look magazine at the time. And my father was actually involved in that stuff when it was new, which made my mother throw a fit and kick him out. But anyway, I know a lot about this stuff. But there was this movie in which Jack Klugman is a bungling salesman in a department store, and he can never satisfy his wife or make her happy. So he says he would sell his soul to make his wife happy. So then Sammy Davis Jr. appears, and I think Christopher Lee plays Satan, but Sammy Davis Jr. keeps screwing up, and he's a bungling devil, and he can never get any souls to sign contracts. So he has one chance to get a soul to sign a contract in this frame of time, and he hears Jack Klugman, and he has him sign it, but he goofs that all up too. There's a scene where they're in a department store that Jack Klugman works in.
No, I've never heard
And
of this
Oh, it's
movie.
a great movie. Look it up. It's called Poor Devil. It's from 1972. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
My
I-
favorite TV movie. Go ahead. Terry.
No, go ahead. I'll
My
ask you.
favorite TV movie about the devil was Devil on My. Was it Angel on My Shoulder?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was.
It was basically this guy gets killed. Even though he's a hitman and a bad guy, but he gets framed for murder by these two villains, and then goes to hell and spends 3 years. Was it 3 decades down there? It was in 1980. He spends 3 decades down there, and then they bring him back. The devil brings him back to Earth to try and corrupt this district attorney who's known for doing good things, and because he refuses to do evil things and winds up doing good and making stuff better for the guy he took over. God at the end, God winds up saying, "All right, I'm taking him now. You brought him back to Earth. He redeemed himself. So now, you know." But they were trying to tell us that in hell, people were like using shovels and shoveling coal into the fires.
Right.
And then
Oh, they
That's
have
what I thought
yeah.
as a child.
They have a
Yeah.
scene in that Poor Devil movie about like that too. They're he's part of his punishment is shoveling coal in a furnace. It's like,
Yeah.
supposed to be funny.
and then they were
Sounds
taking
like a
and then
train
if you,
engineer.
yeah, if you did the bad thing, you got, or if you fell, they took you and threw you into a pit to the lower levels of hell. And think about, so that, why someone would fall, we don't know, because they're no longer bound by human.
Right, you're a spirit, so how are you
Yeah,
gonna fall? Is
so
there gravity
that
in hell?
part didn't really. No, they basically fell from exhaustion.
Oh.
So I'm like,
How can you get
that part
exhausted if you don't have a
kinda-
body?
I know that part kind of didn't make sense, but I think they were basically saying it was part of the punishment. But
They give the illusion.
I have a
that-
question when you're done.
go ahead.
What is that? This is a question for all of you. You ever have an instance where you're stopped dead in your tracks and you say to yourself, "I've done this before,"
yeah.
Yes,
or "I've
that's
been
deja
here"?
vu.
But
It's been a
is
long
that a
time.
form of reincarnation?
No,
I've
what
no-
it is a feeling of time being not being linear because it exists all at the same time. Time is a huge unending circle of the past and the future meet and keep going around and around.
Right.
As
Right.
theorized by Albert Einstein. So the reason you're feeling like you've done it before is because you're feeling one of the previous loops. So
Well,
when
I
time
know.
is
A loop.
concerned,
I
as
don't.
in-
I don't understand it because I've read Einstein's theory of relativity 4 times.
not his theory of relativity. It's his theory of time and existence, and it
well-
travels. It basically you go to the end of time, and then it swirls back to the beginning of time, and starts over again. And you're reliving your
How does
part
that
of
occur?
it. Every time, huh?
How does that occur?
Yeah.
It's a theory. They don't have. I'm saying you're
I don't know if you
remembering a
can-
previous loop, so you're looping your life and your death, and then you go back and relive it as part of a loop. And like
That's
it's the theory is also if you go back in the past and get to the beginning of time, you can pass through it to the end of time and travel from the past, from the future to the present.
I
So
think that's convoluted. I think time is more
that is
linear than that because you
No.
can't go back in time.
no.
In this dimension, maybe.
Yeah,
The illusions of this
It's
world.
it's not linear. It happens all at once. So everything that's
Well,
happening in the past.
Einstein's theory states that if you're standing in a certain spot and say you're moving from right to left, and there's 1,000 lightning bolt strikes equidistant from your original position, by the time the light gets to you, it would normally be all at the same time. Because you're moving from right to left, the ones on your right will get there later than the ones on your left.
I have no idea what he just said.
No, I don't.
Wow.
But
I always
this
wondered.
theory is used by most science fiction and comic book writers. Doctor Who, the DC universe, they use.
Right, that's why you
This
understand it so well,
theory-
because you have.
It's
that
based
background.
on Einstein's theory, and just like sliding is based on the Dostoevsky Bridge.
Tell the viewers what that is, because they might not know.
I don't know what it is
You
either.
know? Oh, okay.
I just know that that's what the theory of sliding is based on. And in fact, one of my friends.
Is it
was
like
an-
string theory or something like that?
No, it's the theory of wormholes that pass between parallel universes. Yeah, the bridge that if you open up, you can travel to an alternate reality.
Okay.
That's what it is. And actually, Einstein did actually be a part of it. It was Einstein and somebody else named Dostoevsky. The two of them had the idea that if you could open these wormholes, you could travel to these parallel Earths where you're a different person. Or
Yeah,
you
like the
could
multiple
be,
Earth theories in DC Comics.
or on
yeah.
Sliders, or
Right.
on. I mean, how many? Lots of shows have used parallel universes as a,
As a trope.
as a trope, yeah. But it doesn't have anything to do with reincarnation because you wouldn't be remembering the same thing. You'd be remembering something from a past. Like there was a Twilight Zone episode from one of the new Twilight Zones where someone went to a parallel Earth where everybody remembered their past lives.
Yeah.
So it was screwing a lot of people up because they remembered having a glorious life 20,000 years ago, and here they were having a bad life. Or, like this lady who was on the street said, in my past life, I was the queen of this country or something like this, and now look at me. And my friend Nigel Bennett starred in that episode, and I remember, and he was basically saying, well, if you fill out your resume for this job, don't bother going any farther back than medieval because nobody has any use for blacksmiths now. And it was messing everybody up. And the person who traveled from the parallel Earth, they were trying to use him as a way of, I don't remember if it was a him or her. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, but they used it as a way of keeping people's memories sealed into the life they were in, so that they weren't remembering all these past lives. So that's another thing, another situation involving reincarnation that I really don't. I mean, the only one that sounds remotely possible is the one about you being reincarnated in your own family bloodline, like in Kung Fu. Jim, are we keeping you awake?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I do apologize on this.
Okay.
Well, just close your eyes and relax.
Close your eyes, relax, and float downstream like Tomorrow Never Knows from Revolver.
Yeah. So that they did it on Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. The original Kwai Chen Kane from the original TV series was reincarnated in his grandson, which was the one in present day, and the father who was in between. They were all played by David Carradine.
Oh, nice.
But I met David once. He's an interesting person. But
Are you getting into a fight with who was the world champion? That Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
You got into a fight with Chuck Norris, and Chuck Norris.
when did this happen?
I heard about it probably a long time ago.
Okay. I have to look it up. But yeah, that's a story in and of itself. But
Yeah,
that's why it's hard to buy the whole reincarnation thing. And Sal, you pointed out the evil involving the governments and stuff. Well, there was a Twilight Zone episode that almost explored that, where we talked about it earlier on the phone. It was called The Howling Man, where this religious group of monks used the staff of truth to trap the devil in a cell, and for 5 years he was trapped. And he says to a guy who just wanders in looking for shelter, and he says to him, think of the peace of the earth for the last 5 years. And he says, you haven't eliminated evil. There's still murders. There's still burglaries. People are still starving. And he goes, that's what the suffering mankind was meant to endure. We make a lot of our own problems. We need no help from him. And he was like, it's the great wars, the pestilence, the natural disasters, the wholesale sinning. That's what we've stopped. And the guy who let the devil go, he was given a sign that they were telling the truth, that this guy really was the devil, and he didn't pay attention to it, and he still let the devil go. And then he did something stupid and let him go again. So, which is Satan's power of being able to fool people. He's the prince of lies.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Friday the 13th, the series. He's
But
the
the
one.
Bible also says he appears as an angel of light, so you have to have
He
discernment.
appears as many things. He could be a voice in the crowd. He could be, pretend. He'll pretend to
He
be.
could be a vision too.
Yeah, exactly.
It
So
could
you never
even
quite
be
know.
a podcast host.
All right, we're not doing that.
But Peter did get called Satan by Jesus when Peter wanted to stop Jesus from going to the cross. Because you think like you have human reasoning rather than the thinking of God.
Isn't
so,
Peter the one that said he didn't know Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Denied him 3 times.
That was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
How so?
Because Jesus told him, "You're gonna say you don't know me 3 times."
Well,
Before the
he said he
cock
wasn't
crows.
going to do that, so he
But
wasn't.
he still did it
He did it.
He
Yeah.
still did it.
It wasn't. How is that self-fulfilling? Jesus said what the
because
truth
he
was.
did what Jesus said
He would do.
he would do.
He
Because
claimed he would,
How
but
is
he
that
did it anyway.
How is that a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Because if
He
Jesus
didn't-
hadn't told him, he might not have done it.
That's
He
not
saw
true.
it as a way out. So either Jesus was reading the future, or he was telling him how he should behave.
That's a psychological thing you're saying, rather than
Right.
the
Yeah,
ability to predict
yeah.
what's going to occur.
Not to say Jesus can't predict what he would.
I have one of those things.
Jesus was prophesied about in many ways in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And he
But
fulfilled all of them, except for the ones that have been fulfilled yet,
Yes.
which is him coming back.
Now, one of the other theories I want to talk about is the theory that, was also explored in the Good Place.
Mm-hmm.
It lasted 5 years. Ted Danson and Kristen Swanson and whoever were the stars. They said that if you go through this other door, you become one with the universe. And there's a lot of people who believe that when you die, you become one with the universe. Basically, you become a floating entity that floats all over looking and watching what's going on here on Earth.
Or you reconnect with the oversoul or the complete Godhead if you believe that God is everything, all connected, which is another belief.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Well, everything is God, and everything is God experiencing God. It's just in fragments.
I can kind of see that.
I'm kind of not. I don't subscribe to that concept.
It is a
either,
theory, though.
because it
Well-
takes away your individuality and basically just throws you into a pot, and you're all just basically doing the same thing in
Well,
the same way.
You can also
As
consider...
long as your hand is attached to your body, it's your hand. If your hand gets cut off, it's no longer part of your body unless it's reattached.
Huh.
So
So you lose your individuality once again, just like with reincarnation.
But individuality
What
can also...
what is
Could be
individuality?
it could be an illusion.
Who you are, what you are.
What you are is there's something about us that we say you're not the same as you were when you were 5. There's changes that occur. So
But that's within your own lifetime.
right. There is a certain similarities, but there's also differences. If you look at the combination of similarities and differences, that creates something that's beyond just being one thing.
That's true.
Terry,
Things
do you
change and-
subside to this theory or not?
Explain it in more simpler terms to me, would you please?
If you do, you die and your soul becomes an entity that just floats throughout the universe. Like he said, you become part of God and part of the universe itself.
Well, I do believe
And basically, you're just wandering
overseeing
around.
everything. Yeah. I don't know about wandering around. It's just
Yeah, right,
floating. I don't know
right.
how it's done, but I think you can see what's going on
Well,
down
at
below,
this
down
point,
in
yeah.
the earth.
But at this point, we only know that there's life on Earth in this dimension. We don't know. We have not discovered. We've not actually discovered aliens or life on other planets in this dimension yet. But
At least that has been told.
not that's
in the
been
mainstream.
proven. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of. I mean, it's one of those things where there's lots of evidence. We just can't conclusively say it. Just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of evidence that the afterlife exists, but not to the point where people will say, yeah, it definitely does. But I mean,
My
like,
brother experienced
never
meeting
know.
family members. When he died twice on the operating table, he had cancer, I think, at least 2 times, maybe 3.
And he experienced.
He experienced meeting family members that had
Really?
passed away that said you have to go back.
Really?
and I saw
So-
a ghost in my cottage that I really thought was my mother.
Really?
It was the woman in white, and then she turned into an orb, and then a big piece of fuzz that was floating down. And I thought it was my friends in the other room playing a joke on me, but my door was locked, and they were in the other room.
Okay.
Oh.
I have a friend who writes books about this stuff and does ghost tours. He was a guest on the show last year, Dr. Mason Winfield.
Like sometimes I'll say to my son, "All right, you tick me off too much. I'll come back and haunt you." You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that
Well,
sort
now
of
that
thing.
brings
You know,
up another. That brings up another theory: is that you don't leave. So if you have unfinished business or something keeping you here, you leave your body and become a spirit, which isn't necessarily able to make contact with the real world, or it might. I mean, a lot of writers will come up with a way for them to make contact with the real world for story purposes.
Oh,
but
that reminds me of that Twilight Zone where, like, remember that girl that she's like trying to communicate through the TV, through the static, reaching
right,
out.
yeah.
that wasn't Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it was a Twilight
Yeah.
Zone.
That must have been one of the different ones, one of the other series. Not
Newer
the
ones?
original.
Was it a newer Twilight
No,
Zone?
I
or-
remember. Maybe you're right. Maybe
It wasn't
newer-
one of the
maybe it was a newer one.
originals.
Yeah, it was,
it was one of the newer
Yeah.
ones. But keep in mind, at this point, there are 4 series out
Mm-hmm.
there, plus the movie and a few specials.
Seriously? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I saw the Twilight Zone movie in like the early 80s, I
The
think.
Twilight Zone movie was 4 remakes with an
Yeah.
overstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
I-
was a massive
the plane was
disaster.
seriously scary to me. Something coming up on the wings of a plane, tearing it apart. He's going to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the original. What's funny about that is the original had
That monster was really scary. They
William
used.
Up on the wing,
Shatner in it.
coming up to the window. Yeah.
Well, the one in the original episode wasn't very scary. The one in the movie was very scary.
Yeah, the one in the movie was.
But in the movie, it was John Lithgow. In the TV series, it was William Shatner. And in the TV series, Third Rock from the Sun, John Lithgow and William Shatner are together. And Shatner just got off the plane, and he goes, I was drinking so much of this alcohol stuff, I thought I saw something out on the plane.
Nice.
Have you ever actually seen anything when imbibing alcohol? I know that's a trope, but I don't know anyone who's actually ever like seen something that isn't there from drinking.
No.
Maybe from hallucinogenic drugs, but not from alcohol.
No, but
Why is that a thing?
I've only been drunk a handful of times in my life, so I wouldn't know.
I've never been drunk, so.
Yeah,
Or in
neither
your
have I.
dreams. Or in your dreams, you see things.
I used to have very vivid dreams when I was young, and every now and then in my
I'm
older.
still having them.
Premonitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, premonitions.
But the concept of spirits inhabiting the earth and not being able to move on because they want to keep an eye on somebody or they want to find something or they have something they need to do, that's been, a lot of writers say they bring it up as a door. The current TV show School Spirit, Being Human, they bring it up as you get a door and you can choose to go through it or not, wherever it's going to take it. They did that on Forever Night too. In the movie Ghost, it was a light that came down on them. And one of the other shows, I believe it was, in a lot of older stuff, you see them going up on an escalator, basically, or some kind of thing where you basically don't move on until you've completed this unfinished business. And I think I can sustain that theory by, it's one of the ones I believe in. What about you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But is the premise that you can or you can't affect the real world, so you never complete it and you just stay stuck forever?
You're out there. You're somewhere, but you don't know where.
Well, eventually, it can, whatever you're going to do can be done. It doesn't have to necessarily be done by you. It could be done by somebody else. So
Okay.
it's kind of like someone who gets murdered and they can't leave the earth until their
this
murderer
is
is found.
Right.
And if someone on earth finds the murderer, then yes, they can move on. And a lot of times you're doing things because you think your ancestor or whoever can't move on until this thing is done. And in some cases, they can affect the real world. They can possess somebody. They can physically manifest themselves. I mean, those are other tropes involving ghosts, which may or may not be true. I personally think they are, but it also is a case of, like, if
I think
there's so many ghost stories even here in Buffalo.
Remember what happened with King Solomon? He went to a medium to find out what was going.
King Solomon.
Not Solomon.
Saul.
Saul.
Oh, Saul. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
King Saul wanted to know the answer to a question regarding, I can't remember the exact topic, but he went to a medium.
Yeah.
And the medium knew that he was the king of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said she did want to do it. He said, it's okay, I'm not going to do anything. But she answered his question, but she had the answer from demons, not from God.
Okay, I'm not following that one. The story I remember was
King Saul and
she summoned Samuel, the prophet judge, and Samuel told Saul that he had sinned and that the kingdom was being taken away from him and given to David.
Yes.
I don't remember any of the stuff you said.
Well,
at least not in the story I read.
It's in the same area of the Bible. It's during the time when Saul was reigning, and basically he died in battle after that.
Well, I know that,
yeah.
but Saul didn't die in battle. He killed himself.
Well, he had somebody run him through.
No, he didn't.
No.
He threw himself on his own sword and killed himself.
There was something where someone else went to King David about the fact that he had that it occurred, and basically King David said you shouldn't have allowed him to, you shouldn't have killed him because he was
You're
the king of
talking
Israel.
about. Wait, what?
There was a man on the battlefield when he killed himself.
That was Uriah, not Saul.
King Saul.
I think we need
The
a
first
Bible
king. The
and
first
go
king. I
through
gotta
it.
look it up.
I don't know what you're saying. It doesn't follow what I know of the Bible, and I've studied the Bible for years. So I don't know where you're getting
remember
this
once-
stuff from.
Do you know the verse that Jesus says, "I'll raise myself from the dead"?
Yeah.
Well, I was with Jehovah's Witness, and I was trying to say, I'm sure I read it somewhere. We finally found, and he questioned his own faith because of it. But it was like,
Well, I'd have to go back and look, but it doesn't. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, like it's like what's in the Gospels. There are 4 Gospels that were canonized, and they each tell their own stories of the same events. So, but so you never know what's real and what isn't. Matthew talks about what Judas did, but the other 3 don't. The only other place that references it is Acts of the Apostles. The
okay,
fact that he hung himself. Mark is the only one who mentions the mysterious man who, when Jesus was arrested, appears in a cloth and then leaves the cloth and runs away naked.
right.
And a lot of people think it was actually Mark.
Oh, I thought they thought it was John.
No, it
'Cause-
was they thought it was Mark.
okay,
And Luke and John, everyone has. There's like events where all 4 of them describe it on their own. So.
there's different perspectives by different people at the same time.
Exactly. Whereas, do you believe in Vanessa? Do you believe in the concept of ghosts and the way they're portrayed in media? I mean, currently the 2 best shows about it are Ghosts, which is a sitcom, but it's still pretty good, and School Spirits, which is an amazing show.
I guess spiritual entities are a possibility. I'm not necessarily sure on the particulars or the details, but I think a lot of things on TV shows are just like tropes that they reuse and have been reused so much that people are used to them and it's familiar.
Yeah, but the point is, how much? What would mirror actual reality?
Who knows what an actual reality is with
the closest
ghosts
thing.
and spirits unless you have firsthand interaction with them yourself.
Yeah, well,
you're not going to know, and if you don't have that interaction, how can you know?
Yeah.
Well, what about those ghost hunters? On the ghost hunter shows, they have those
Exactly.
machines. And when they get close to one of them, it starts buzzing and louder
Okay.
because they're in that area.
I
Do
mean,
you
it's
believe
just
that is?
censoring. It's sensing energy fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more evidence that there's an afterlife than not. Just like there's more evidence that there's aliens than not. But just nothing. Last year at Greg Lamberson's Film Festival, they showed a movie about a reality where everyone knew the afterlife existed.
Yeah.
It was definite. And it screwed a lot of people up because they were like, well, now I know I'm going to go to hell, so I can't be evil.
Yeah.
Well, that would be if you knew if it was predestination.
Well, see,
If you know that you're predestined.
I don't think so.
There's
because
choice. God allows an interesting where He can predict things, but you still have free will. So
Yeah.
So
So-
how could you know if you're going to hell without predestination?
No, because because you're saying that if you are evil, you go to hell. Most people who are evil don't believe in hell. But if
So,
they
no.
if you saw the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, George Clooney said, "I've always told God to beep 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 because I didn't believe him." But now I know those creatures are from hell. So if they're from hell, there's a devil, and if there's a devil, there's a God. Or on Charmed when a doctor is being chased by a demon, and Leo, who's an angel, tells him, well, I'm a guardian angel, and that's a demon chasing you. And he goes, well, so much for me being an atheist. So, and we made that point in Sweet Jesus, the movie we made with Greg Sterlace, that there's one God, there's one afterlife. Some people say that, like one of the things Charm did was say there are different each culture has its own references to the afterlife and to God and stuff like that. And when they die, they go through that. I hate to bring this one up because it's from The Simpsons, but they were saying that each religion had its own piece of heaven or hell, you know, and a lot of people believe, and this is the trope I most believe, is that you're going to get your own little piece, just like in a place to visit. You get your own private domain, your own piece of heaven or hell as to what you... They also did that in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. You know, you get your own personal hell, or in that movie Flatliners. Remember we talked about it?
Yeah.
You get your own personal hell, or you get your own little piece of heaven that's your domain,
But
that you get what you want in it. Like if you get your own little piece of heaven, what do you want in it? They did it in a movie with Red Fox where he was a jazz singer, and his piece of heaven was a bar where people were singing and dancing and all kinds of stuff. And they were like, "Oh, so this is my own little piece of heaven?" And he's like, "Yeah."
But that's the Bible says that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
What has that got to do with anything?
Because he says the only way to the Father is through him. The way
I
is
understand
narrow.
that, but we're talking about after they get there. He's
Yes,
the
but-
way, but once they get there, is everyone, there's always the concept of, okay, we have this big place that everybody walks around wearing, with
robes.
wings and robes and halos, and we're all walking around this big, beautiful place, but we had to close down one of the dining rooms because all we're getting is a bunch of priests and cleaning ladies. That was from Oh God. But
Why would you need to eat, though?
well,
the
you don't
afterlife.
need to. They made that a point. You don't need to.
Well, you do it for pleasure?
You do it for pleasure, yeah.
Arby's has the meats.
And or there's the concept.
I was there today. I had a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah. Well, then there's also the concept of, But there's also the concept of them that, like, they used in I hate to keep going back to that show, The Good Place, but they constructed villages that were designed for specific people to go to.
Yeah.
And you were living in a village with your own, and you got to do things like fly and do all kinds of things that you wanted to do. So that's one concept, and people were actually hired as designers for these places, and that's another trope that I love, is the fact that humans can be made into angels, and it's like your highway to heaven.
Right.
And you're sent back to Earth to try and help people. That's one trope that it's one of the things you hope is true. But,
Do you believe everyone faces judgment after death?
well, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Okay, so is it? I guess the apostles are supposed to be 12, represent the 12 tribes of Israel or something like that, or have 12 thrones. I'm not
The
quite sure
12
about.
tribes of Israel were based out of the 12 sons of Jacob.
Yes, they were. Jacob was Israel, so
Yeah. He created the original 12. His 12 sons created the original 12 tribes of Israel,
yes.
and they had
but,
4 mothers.
But so who sits on the 12 thrones?
Jacob's 12 sons, and then they passed it on from there on in.
No, I'm talking about at judgment time.
I don't think that's a factor when you're in judgment of the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't think that's a factor when you're sitting in judgment. That was just the lineage.
Yeah, but people are assigned to do the judging when the judging occurs. It actually comes
Oh,
from
who does the judging?
Yes.
Oh, I always thought that God did.
Well, Jesus is the judge in the
Jesus. Well, we made it a point in Sweet Jesus that Jesus was talking to God, and that at the moment they were two separate entities. But we know that as the Son of God.
So you would be God the Son talking to God the Father.
Yes,
Right.
basically. And
And they're one, and they're separate at the same time.
Well, he even said,
Yeah, the mystery of faith.
yeah,
That
and he
kind of goes
also
back to the
said,
cutting off the hand and us being.
yeah, if your hand grows a new you and you grow a new hand, sure. If you're Doctor Who, which they did actually do, his hand grew a new doctor and the doctor grew a new hand. But
Oh boy.
the concept of the highway to heaven, you know, come back as an angel and help people, is one of those ones you can hope for if that's what you want to do. If you think sitting up in heaven will be boring, come back down to earth and help people. They did in that one movie where he said, well, after the first century or so, I wanted something more than sitting in a hot tub for 2 weeks getting served drinks. And in a lot of movies, there was one with, I think it was called City of Angels, and it starred Nicolas Cage. And they said the angels were sent down to earth to help people, but they didn't do it physically. They would go to people and not be seen and like influence certain things
Influence their mind.
and stuff. And then
Where
if
they- yeah.
and then if they fell off a building, they'd become human. They threw
Oh.
themselves off a building and crashed, they'd become human and remember being angels but living as humans until they died and became angels again. Have you seen that movie?
No.
No. It's a really
you?
interesting film.
You seen it?
No.
I've
No.
never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I've
No.
only seen
It's called City of Angels. Like I said, Nicolas Cage was the star.
I like some of his movies.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, he played an angel and then he played Hellboy.
Ghost Rider.
Thank you. We made reference to that in my movie. But, yeah, so your concepts of what angels are, what spirits are, what happens after you die. Do you go right to heaven or hell? Do you stay behind? What is heaven or hell?
I have a question.
Everyone has a different
Oh,
theory.
I just want to make, like that great Kate Bush lyric. Some say that hell is heaven. Some say that heaven is hell. You know, from like
Not familiar.
yeah.
Carrie?
I have a question. What is it then with all the angels floating around and they're here and there when these mediums get together with you and they pull in your whoever you want to talk to? Is that what's happening there?
According to the Bible,
Yes.
it's a demon that's answering questions because the demons know a lot because they know about
It
us.
could be or it couldn't. It depends on.
It's just what
They'll-
is that?
they'll-
You're
Let's-
getting one of. If you go to a medium, you're getting one of three things. You're getting someone who can actually speak to ghosts, someone who's getting stuff from a demon, who's pretending to be the thing, which I have heard of, or you're getting someone who's just trying to take your money. 9 out of 10 times, that's who it is. But if you
Yeah.
run into
So
a,
there's nothing that's true with that.
I
whole
know,
thing.
but you
might
gotta-
be dependent on the situation because not one size fits all in any situation.
If they can tell you things that you don't think that you should know,
yeah,
it could be a demon trying to get
trick
you.
you, yeah.
Really?
Don't mess with Ouija
They might be able
boards.
to. Yeah, don't mess
no,
with Ouija
that's
boards.
why I never.
Those are horrible.
Yeah, I never said.
Do they bring out bad spirits?
They
Oh,
can do all kinds of things.
Well, they sure do.
And more than if you use a Ouija board, more than likely you're going to get a demon who's going to feed you bullshit just to fuck
You're
with
a
your
demon.
head. Excuse my language.
And they mess with your
'Cause
spirit
they-
and your emotions
Yeah,
too.
Right.
and they always said the older the Ouija board, the better it is.
Yeah, because it's got more demons in it. 'Cause it's been
Yes.
around longer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and at one
Oh,
point
I'm
they
in.
were sold as a
Batter
college
is a funny
toy,
word.
as
You
a
sup-
kid's toy. So,
And supposedly, you if you try to burn one, it shoots sparks off, like looks like a sparkler.
yeah,
That's what I heard. If you try to burn a Ouija board, it does
Let's
weird
do it.
stuff.
Let's put one.
We could try. Oh, you want to touch the thing though? You actually want? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm in.
Ouija. I don't recommend Ouija boards
No.
at all, good or
I don't
bad.
either.
I don't recommend mediums either because 9.5 out of 10 times you're not going to get the results you want.
Right.
I've seen them. I've talked with them. And there were times when I was absolutely positive they were messing with people just from the way they did things. But I mean, if you're going to find someone who actually knows things about you and they didn't find it out because they were cutting hair down the street at the
beauty salon,
Thank
yeah.
you. Where people like to talk, or they didn't like talk to somebody and find out things about you and use it to their advantage. That's what a lot of shills do. Like a lot of the evangelists, TV evangelists, put
Leading questions. And
yeah,
stuff,
and put people in the audience and have them pretend. If anyone saw the movie that Steve Martin did, it
The
was
Jerk?
no, it
No,
was I can't remember the name
That
of
was a
it.
really good
but
movie, though. I saw that
I
when I was
can't
young.
think of the
Yeah.
name either.
He played an evangelist who was basically putting on a show and had these shills in the audience setting things up so he could steal people's money. And
yeah, that's what they do.
Tom, how much time we got left?
4 minutes and 39
Oh, okay,
seconds.
all right.
You
I
see
couldn't
the
see the end
timer
there.
up there. Oh, maybe that's under
Part of
there.
it was cut off.
Yeah,
Oh,
on his TV.
oh,
yeah.
Can you move? Can you move
this
the
TV, that
Plus,
TV?
can you move
Yeah.
the curtain?
curtain?
There's telescreens all around. Big Brother's watching
Okay.
everybody.
All right.
Yeah, just move it.
yeah. So yeah, we got about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So
That's
do I
like
recommend mediums? Probably not. Yeah, I mean,
Or
not-
Ouija board.
If you're
There's
definitely not Ouija board.
how about the mystical magic orb?
those
chances
are,
look good.
Yeah, but in a lot of cases, it might
There
be
you
you.
go.
That's an oldie but goodie.
It might be you controlling it telekinetically or something, so giving you what you want, so you can't get a.
What's the
definite
name
yes
of the
or no.
probability philosopher that Richard was talking about?
Hegelian? The Hegelian theory? The thing that he always talks about?
Well, there's
He's watching. You should
starts
tell
with
us.
an N.
Type in the comments, Richard.
Please.
Well, anyways, because you said the
Probability?
what was the answer that you said it was probable?
Chances look good.
Chances look good. Yeah, it's
I like try again later.
because he
That's my
believes
favorite.
that anything could occur.
Do
at
they
any
even
time.
sell those anymore?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
this
I have
came
one.
from.
I have one.
Yeah,
Well, Good.
but
They're mystifying oracles.
I've also have you noticed about mediums? They tend to charge a real lot of money, and
Yeah.
they tend to be giving you
I'm hearing
your.
everything.
They're
I can't hear
giving.
myself anymore.
We can
Some
hear you.
people swear by them.
Yeah,
They-
well, I can
there's
hear- I
some
can
that
hear
are real
good.
good. And
Because some of them may be real, and some of them might just be
Maybe
telling the
real.
person they want what they want to hear, and it's making that person feel good, and they don't care if it's fake or not. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons for it.
Yeah, I think some.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think some people just want to like find like comfort, I forgot what the I forgot what the word is.
I know what you're saying.
Toll show. They just
Yeah.
want like some toll show and in terms of something that might have happened, like they're going to say goodbye to like
Yeah.
their father or like
Yeah.
grandfather or something like
If
that.
they can tell you where to find an insurance policy or where to find a pile of money under your bed or something, then they're probably real.
well, I went to a medium once and said, I walked in the door. She said, Steve's been waiting for you. He said, you're always late. Well, she didn't know me. I didn't know her, but that was one big
And it's
thing
possible
with
that one was
Steve.
real.
That was really a big thing that I'm always late.
Yeah. Oh, me too. But I haven't met one I think is real.
Oh,
yet.
I couldn't believe she said that.
And yeah, I've seen people do tarot cards. I've seen all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, tarot
and
card readings. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do 8-ball readings.
So,
magic orb.
I was grabbing that earlier. I wasn't sure I wanted to
grab
mess
it,
with
some-
You
it.
It's a
gotta rub
magical-
I
it.
didn't
You
wanna-
gotta rub it, and
Oh,
it'll
boy.
But
give
the
you.
point
I love a
is
bowling
that-
ball, but nothing that gives me answers.
Yeah. The point is,
Or I love the great Buddha's belly.
yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. We've only got a minute and some change, so I want to do closing argument.
What are we arguing?
I meant never mind.
Statements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, everyone has a concept of the afterlife, and if you're a writer and you want to put your own concept in, try and at least have some basis in reality and some kind of
Define reality, though. Reality. How do
something
you
that
define
might
that?
something well, like Sal said, something about evidence, like from the Bible or from some kind of person who might have like a philosopher or something. don't just make a lot of these shows make up crazy stuff just for the sake of storytelling.
Yeah, that's-
Supernatural is
that's
well known for
fantasy,
that
yeah.
one. And Buffy and Angel talk about different hell dimensions, different heavenly dimensions, and all that stuff. There's not one, there's a whole bunch up there, and I'm like, who knows what's right and what's wrong. But thank you all for being on the show.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is really great.
And this is the Oracle says we're out.
We're out.